I'm also nervous in front of Katy's parents. Thanks to everybody for coming out, and thanks to Malvern for having us, but especially thanks to Paula for inviting me to read with you. The last time I read with Paula was in Iowa City, and honest to God, I just read a list of quotations from Hamlet. And nevertheless, she invited me to read again, so thank you. I'm going to read 3 poems, but don't think you're getting out easy because they're a little shaggy. I'm going to start with one called The History of the Soldier. Like the ghost of ghosts, quick, he moves pantoon-like, phantom in a thick fog, a slick bog in his wake. He aches for day's searing lash, shakes off the ruinous blasphemy of reason, sees and employs his sight for various things like the hike up the mountain from the moors. He is cursed with weaponry heretofore unheard of in this, the new century, of which he feels not a part but an anachronism proving modernity. He throws his feet up the mountainside, the thought of retreat a sweetness he dares not plot, like the thought of a thought, to dream, to be minuscule above a porous forest, to rest by falling through. It's nightfall in the falling season, and the snowy way slicks his tread like the quick mistake of the dead, and everywhere their eyes. He cries out for a loneliness no one is around to accompany him out of. His mission is to live, but for what? He dares and dares the mountain, but the mountain persists, like the conveyor of grain in the mill he gave his youth to. In truth, he's old. There never was a war. They sold him soldiers' shoes the mountain now wears down to flapping knot. In soldiers' shoes, what else dares he to do but move smaller up the mountain, whose other side recedes like a sorcerer's horizon? Smaller and smaller he climbs. From the moors, he is nothing but eyes. The century folds him in its annals, which incinerate in the next great battle, and still he never dies. Mourn him, and his mission lives. It's morning. The operation. We all agreed the man would die. Open up his head, said Frick. We all agreed to open it. Frick in his moon-white surgical gown, I in my glowing coat, billowing in urgency. The theater lighting gleamed off our head mirrors like lightning off of snow. We worked our saws into his scalp, which lifted like a cap. We all agreed the man had almost died, had been dying, had thought to die, but lived. His brain slipped in our bowl of tin, that it had been so large, his brain, had occupied the wholeness of his skull, had colonized its utmost resources of volume, had taken all of it, that he, in dying, had operated with these merest means of space, had been a tragedy, we agreed, a missed opportunity, his life, too full of mind. But what to do, asked Frick, his brows incarnadine from wiping sweat with bloodied gloves. Without a brain, the man would die. He hasn't long to live without a brain, we sang as if to heathen gods. He hasn't long to live without a brain. We dumped our tray of knives into his skull. We watched his face twitch back to life. His eyes moved like a cat's that seemed transfixed, then jerked to something else, and now it's me. Who are you, he says. We're here to save your life. What do you see, we asked. Not what I see, but how it feels. Like dying, he said, like drowning in fabric, suffocating under ceaseless blankets. Everything's connected, and behind it, there's the air. All movement is fabric, all space is stuffed. To live, I have to cut my way through, all the way through. I have to penetrate the world. That's no way to live, we all agreed. We filled his head with blood. What do you see? Black. The air is thick. The light is blood. The world stirs like nature's in a fight. Just your face is desire. My craving for it fills me like a racing heart. Even the metals of this room are swimming humors in my lust. We filled his head with gems. What do you see? A world that shines like pain. Each twinkle is a pang. Each glint reminds me what it is to be alive. not dead, to crave such shine. Each star a knife, each eye. My eyes cut through you like diamonds through glass. The night is lapidary, the air is mass. I can't breathe for it. Niggardly sky, uncinch your purse of lights. We prized the stars from night and filled his head. We filled his head with dark of night, with clouds. We filled him and we filled him. What do you see? The weather made him sing like a banshee over moors. The wind made whirling spires of our reports. We filled his head with honey, grain, and salt. We filled his head with fire, with wood, with soot. With ether from our cabinets, we filled him and he swam. Like a dying man through memory, he swam. We filled his skull with grass, and his desperation spread. A fearsome rhizome, it covered our equipment as a frost. It overgrew our hearts. Like a tall sea atop a sunken ship, its dreadful pall encumbered us. What should we do? Asked Frick. Frick in his moon-white surgical gown, I in my glowing coat. We all agreed the man should die, had almost died, had meant to die, but lived. He'll kill us all, we screamed. Then end his life, we heathen gods replied. We stuffed his head with gauze and sewed him up. He hasn't long to live without a brain. He hasn't long to live without a brain. But his heart kept thumping like a ghost ship's rowing drum. He peered at us through clouded over eyes. What do I see? He said. The night is white. The air enshrouds me as around a corpse. The stars are salt, as are your eyes. Yours and yours and yours and yours and yours. Yours and yours and yours and yours and yours. I cannot die without a brain. Each element fills me into suffering. Like blood through a cloth, every color pervades me. All right, last one. It's very fresh and very hard to say, so please pardon interruptions. Terms of venery. Gentlemen of Ghent, gentlemen of Ghana, gentlemen at leisure with Ivana in Tehran, gentlemen aplenty, gentlemen, may I call you gentlemen? Gentlemen, this one weird trick to reduce ungentlemanly belly fat, gentlemen with jabas full of aspartame, laced aspirin, gentlemen aspiring to space-age globalization by means of the good gentlemen of Acme Corporation, gentlemen whose anvils weaponize gravity, gentlemen whose walks off cliffs defy it, gentlemen whose daughters are women, tired of apology kites, gentlemen penicillin abusers, gentlemen liposculptors, gentlemen their tunics cinched in princely waists, gentlemen of waste management, of the band MGMT, of T-3 seconds, of second-class citizenship, of membership drives in driving gloves, of gloves-off gestures of satisfaction demands, of ransom-leveraged daughters of grandsons. The night is a peach out of season, gentlemen, and we are here to take a bite, to take a bow, to bow out of accounts payable, to pay our debts to handsomeness, to septuagenarian fancies, to feasting on fists raised, to raising our staircase, gentlemen loyal, thoroughbred mastiffs, gentlemen lashed to the ship's masts of state, gentlemen stately, gentlemen forlorn. The very word is like a bellhop, a cuck, a milksop, milquetoast fop, whose date to the Sadie Hawkins sock hop you make off with in the gentlemanly military chopper, your clayed-up texturized chop, a shimmy like fields of pre-product produce, gentlemen. Use value is taking a hit, gentlemen whose strong streams shrink the urinal ice, gentlemen whose quarters are bad, who are balding, get strange in the champagne room, gentlemen pinball all-stars, gentlemen grandmaster wizardry, gentlemen of the court in double-breasted vests and toggle coats with coats of arms and armed with tanks and tanked. Gentlemen in tank tops, gentlemen tupping your white and black hues, gentlemen tipping their Hatfield Co. hats, Gentlemen tiptoeing on ice floes, calving Scotch rocks from Nova Scotia. Gentlemen, just a finger, just a skosh, just a slosh in my galoshes through Galapagos marshes. Gentlemen marching on the capital of Neverland. Gentlemen brigands, gentlemen brandishing kettlebells, gentlemen Mont Blanc abortionists, mountain asylumists, priggish of incense but worshipping alchemists. Gentlemen sorcery lab of Los Alamos, mugging for mug shots. Gentlemen butch and security footage, gentlemen scheming in pyramid structures, gentlemen dreaming in high thread count strictures, in monogrammed missives, in calendar pinups of Miss New York City and Fairbanks, Alaska, gentlemen looting the Frigidaire, gentlemen hawking their booty on late night, all night infomercials, by gentlemen for gentlemen, in collaboration with gentlemen, by gentlemen registered trademark of Gentlemen on Gentlemen, funded by the campaign Gentlemen for Congress.